What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be changing the front brake pads on this 2017 S1000RR. So I was riding it the other day, brakes didn't feel quite right, so I checked the pads and sure enough they're just about dead. So we're going to put some new ones on. It's quite an easy job, but you do have to have a bit of a special tool for rewinding the pistons back in. I've done one side, we're going to do the other side together, so I'm going to start right back at the beginning, put it all back together, put it up on a stand, and we're going to do this one together so I can show you how it's done. So I'll put the GoPro on my head and let's get to it. Right, so the first thing you want to do, like I say, you don't need many tools. You need a 13mm socket for taking the caliper off. You need a screwdriver for releasing your reservoir cap. And the important one is the piston rewind tool. So you need to get a rewind tool that's quite narrow. So I've had to modify this one. I've just sort of grinded it off, thinned it out a little bit. I probably could have done with making it a bit thinner, but never mind. And you need 2 packs of brake pads. So it's quite reflective. So you need there's 4 going each side. So you need 2 packs of these. You've got 8 individual pads. So first things first, you want to undo the screw which keeps the cap on. Take that off, keep it somewhere safe. Loosen this cap. So you can leave it on, you just want to loosen so that the air can escape. So, right, 13mm, loosen these off, nice big B. Before I go any further, turn it around a bit. So there's some pins in here, there's one there and there's one at the top, so it's a bit easier if you leave it on to do this. But you push against that, push against your retaining clip and then slide that pin out. Now they're not the easiest to do. There we go, so there's one out. So you take that pin out and then that'll just slot out of there, and that just holds your pads in. So keep them somewhere safe. And then we'll take this one out, and this is the part where you clap your hands and it magically comes out for YouTube. And there we go. So there's the next one out. So they sit in the caliper like that, and you get that sort of groove. It sits into there. Like that. So that's how it looks when it's actually in. Just leave that in actually. So we can finish unwinding these. So you might have to wiggle them a little bit because they will be on the disc, especially if you've been pulling the brake recently, which I just have. There we go, and then it pops out. So if I keep your fingers there so you can see it. So that's how they look from the other side. So that one's really low, but they'll just pop off. Hopefully you can see it a bit better. That's well past where it should have been changed. You don't want to let it get that low, especially on these calipers where they're designed. If you get them too low, it'll actually start to clip against the caliper itself and you risk damaging it. and they should all just slide out. So these are Brembo pads that I'm taking out, and I'm having to just put the first ones that the shop had in, the only ones that the shop had in, so that I can get back out on it again tomorrow. So make sure your cap's loosened, because when you push the pistons back, the fluid will go back up into your reservoir, and if you don't take the cap off, it's going to get a lot more pressure inside the system, and it's going to make your brake really solid. So you shouldn't really let go of these, but I mean the caliper's not that heavy. I wouldn't recommend it. Ideally, you know, just keep sitting them back onto here where they've got the little notches. So I'm going to put my gloves on, since I've just been hacking away at that, and there's lots of loose bits of metal. I mean, a lot of these you probably don't need the piston for the tool for all of them. Some of them will just slide back in. That one feels like it's a bit looser. That one's a bit. I'm going to get a little bit of brake cleaner, because these are pretty dirty. And I don't want to be pushing those pistons back in with all that filth on. Right, so we've got some cleaner now, just some cheap brake cleaner. Like I say, if you're going to leave it, just sit it on there. You don't have to bolt it back together, but just sit it on there, and it takes the weight off the brake line. Really careful taking it on and off though, because it does scrape against your wheel. These wheels actually need refurbishing, so I'm not too concerned, because it's all the paint's flaking off for some reason. Never mind. So try not to wiggle these around too much. You don't want to be like twisting the brake line. I'm just going to give these a bit of a squirt. So then you want to go in from the back. With your piston rewind tool. And just slowly turn it, and that'll push the pistons back in. So you want them right the way back, and that'll allow you to get the pads back in again. Yeah, I think I need to make this a little bit wider. I'll do that before the next time. But as you can see, so them ones are back in now. So these are the ones I haven't touched yet. These are the ones that have been pushed back in. And we're going to do the same for this one. So I'm not going to lie, this is the second day I've actually started on this. My normal caliper rewind tool was far too big, so I've had to order another one next day off Amazon. So you are going to have to get a slimline one before you start this. There's a slimline Sealy motorcycle one, but it's still not. It's still, I mean, that, you know, you shouldn't be pushing them just to one side. That you need to get your tool so it comes right the way in. But it is what it is. It's working. I will fix it before the next time, but just be prepared that you're going to need a really slimline one. So that's your pistons wound back in again. Just going to give that another little blast out since I've got the cleaner out. Put a bit of brake grease on this. So this is Ceratec, metal-free lubricant for brake discs. So anyhow, you just put a little bit on the back of each pad. So just rub it into the pad, just cover the backs of them. A bit too much on that one, but that's alright, because we need to do pins as well. Put it in place, put that clip back in, the little metal loop, half screw that in, and then slide your pads into place. making sure that they go right the way in. So I just have to wipe the dirt off and put a tiny bit more grease on. Take your clip, take one of the clips. They're both identical, so doesn't matter which one goes where. And you put it in at the bottom of the caliper. So let's try and get a bit closer so we can see. Take it off here for a second. So that pushes into the bottom, and then you're going to push that in like that. There's a little hole in there, which there's a little hole in that side as well. And you're going to push this pin in through the back, through that, and through the clip. So put this back on again. So this is probably the most fiddly part of the job. Trying to line these up. There we go. It doesn't go fully in. You will have a bit sticking out, but as long as your clip is sticking or sitting in the little notch on the pin, then you know it's in. So same again. Pop it in, slide it down into there, and then we're going to put the pin through. Give this another clean. So I find it a bit easier if you hold it between your first two fingers like that. And then get a finger on the back of it, and then just push it in. You do have to kind of wiggle it a bit to get it in, but that's it. That's gone in. Just check it's in, because the light's not very good here. Yep. And that's it. So tighten these down. And once you've tightened it down, you just want to check again to make sure that they're definitely seated against your disc nicely. Make sure you alternate tighten them, because one will release ever so slightly after you tighten it. Make sure both sides tight, put your clip back on. So you just want to check to make sure they're definitely sitting in against the disc nice, which it is. I mean, it would be difficult to have your retaining clip in if it wasn't. So final bit. You'll notice this is probably quite full at this point. It's above the maximum, but once we pump the brake, it'll go back down. So put your lid back on, tighten that up. Wrong way. You want that bit so the top sits over there, and that stops the lid from being able to come off. Screwdriver. Doesn't have to be super tight, but that's just going to stop that lid from being able to open. So our next job, your brake's going to feel really soft the first couple of pulls. You'll see it coming down, and then it goes nice and tight back to where it should be. So before you take it out for a ride, pull it off, and then just make sure you can, with all your force, you shouldn't be able to push that forward with your brake held in, and there's no budging that. And that's it. So yeah, thanks for watching. That took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. But I mean, the other side's exactly the same. But you don't have this extra little wire coming down, which is for your ABS sensor probably. But yeah, it's as easy as that. Both sides, get them done. Dead easy job. You don't need to pay a garage to do it. The hardest part, like I say, is the piston rewind tool. And you're going to have to get yourself a nice thin one. This is a Sealy one, Sealy MS711, but you do have to modify it, you do have to cut it down. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you like the videos, hit like, subscribe. I've got some more stuff coming up. I've got some more plans. I think we're going to move on to a bit of spray painting. So we're gonna tackle this. I'm going to spray paint the roof next, and then we're going to spray paint the whole car, try and tidy up some of the rust. Anyhow, but yeah, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.